Alright. It's time for my 2 cents. Hi people and hello my chilling carnage crew, it's Chilly here, the man which is designed for my eyes, doing a 5-minute review on AFI's newest album, Silver Bleeds the Black Sun. Ever since I put my video up about AFI's newest single, I have been inundated with comments calling this one of their best records to date. So the question is, does this hold true? Are AFI back? Well, the answer is yes. Sort of. Maybe. They are sort of back, but it is kind of like an asterisk after it. So, let's discuss. A Fire Inside, better known as AFI, have been around the block for some 30 years by now. Their early records are staples within the hardcore punk scene of the 90s, but this group has also been the masters of innovation for as long as they have been putting out music, with many pointing fingers at, of course, their record December Underground as their commercial breakthrough. And of course, the first real major dynamic shift within the band. I mean, Davey is a bloody chameleon, and I mean that both musically and physically. If you compare Davey's looks, for example, to 20 years ago, you will understand what I am talking about. And of course, I'm glad to see that he is keeping well these days, but he does look like someone who works at a small bar and is overly knowledgeable and enthusiastic about the local IPA beers on tap, and which one is a perfectly hazy blend, or which one was infused with jasmine flowers. It's still better than his emo phase, prove me wrong. Now, when I saw this album's title, I thought there was going to be a bit of a callback to their 99-2003 sound, as the album's title, of course, blends previous records' namesakes of Silver and Cold and Black Sails in the Sunset. And this got me very curious to hear these two albums coming back to life. But I guess I just read into that title a little bit too hard. Instead, when the first single, Behind the Clock, dropped and I listened to it, I immediately thought, just what the fuck is this? AFI is turning another corner yet again as the distance between their past and present grows to planetary spacing evermore. It should go without saying that if you are a fan of their 90s era only, then this album will not dilute your views. Then again, fans of that era have had 25 years to play catch-up, so if they aren't at the starting line now, then you are never going to make it. Perhaps I aligned my initial views about this record along this camp upon my first playthrough. Of course, I did not like what I was listening to, and thought that their new single was nothing more than a feigned version of the Cure song Burn from the Crow movie. Now, I got a bit of flack for calling it out, but I must admit this song has grown on me over time, and the more I listen to it, the more I actually enjoy it. Oh, and as for that one person who made a comment on this video about how this new song sounded like something from the Black Sails and the Sunset album, are you listening to the same album, or are you on drugs? Because one of these albums sounds like this, and the other sounds like this. Holy Visions was the next single, and once again I was not won over by this new sound as AFI continue on their trajectory of the 80s new wave bands. Sorry dark wave I meant to say, I know that there is a difference somewhere, but trust me, this might as well sound like an outtake of something by Sisters of Mercy. And then it dawned on me. Is that going to be the whole album? Is this a gimmick? The answer is yes, but then again, all musical styles are just that, gimmicks. They always have been, and AFI are always reinventing themselves to ride whatever wave they feel like. December Underground shows us just how and why. The last single was Ash Speck in a Graying Eye, which is mesmerising with a groovy bass line played over that synth drum, but the sudden stopping every so often just felt somewhat jarring. Other than this issue, I did like the tune nearly from the first playthrough, but I guess by this stage, I knew what to expect from these lads. Now, I don't want to sound like a broken record here at this stage, but the sound offered on this album by AFI is yet another rug pull moment in their history. Although, if you have been following them closely, then you could tell that, of course, the groundwork had been set at least as far back as their previous album, Bodies. Of course, given AFI's track record, this album and the community's reaction to it, this will be no different by the time they release 2 more albums to how far they move away from this sound yet again, whether that's to the detriment of their fan base, or if you see this as an interesting angle by the band, and that is entirely up to you. However, it seems to be an overwhelming success purely based on the feedback that I have heard, and I tend to agree. I think this album is very distinct, and it grew on me rather quickly the more I listened to it, and for some reason I found myself drawn to come back to it quite often. It's almost like it was an STD doing the rounds in a brothel or something like that. I strongly believe this is one of the best albums that AFI have given us since December Underground, which caught me a surprise because I genuinely didn't think I would enjoy this record as much as I have. Overall, I'm going to give this album a score of 9 million chilies on the spicy scale, with my favourite tracks being Behind the Clock, The Bird of Prey, and No One Underground. Of course, that last track is a small Easter egg and is the only piece on here that really harkens back to their origins. The question is, are you for or against change? At least when they released December Underground, they didn't quite lose sight of themselves entirely. Here, however, I don't think they want to even acknowledge it, but perhaps that's the part about AFI I always found very intriguing. Just what the hell are they going to do next? It's exciting not to know the answer and go for the mystery box. I may not have loved this album at first, but it certainly grew on me, and if you didn't enjoy this album, I spur you to at least try it one more time. Anyway, I want to hear your thoughts on this album, so make sure to comment below, and as always, stay spicy out there. If you've enjoyed this content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to us, and stay notified for future music related content because it keeps our manager happy at the end of the day. We are also on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other social platforms if you want to check us out. As always, people, you have a great day and stay spicy.